My goodness, my goodness. What have you all gotten me into this time? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. Listen, let me do the background story first. I'm going to do the background story first, but this is us jumping into Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 8, episode 1. Let me first say how we actually got here. Okay, so this past Thursday, I actually did a co-hosting a sit down. I did a sit down with Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly comes of Married to Medicine fame. And it was a wonderful time. If you get a chance, go over and see the video of me and Dr. Heavenly. Literally, we talked about Married to Medicine and just some other hot topics and just some things. We even dove into my love life a little bit. I let Dr. Heavenly get all up in my person. So a really great time was had over with Dr. Heavenly. Please go by her channel, give her a click and a view and a like too, and see what we actually came up with. It was a good time. But in that, one of the questions she asked me was, I going to be watching this new season of Huntsville? To which I said no. And she was kind of like taken back, like, wait a minute. Like, Carlos is our friend. Well, that doesn't mean that Carlos isn't our friend. Like, Carlos is cool. Love Carlos. But I tried Love in Huntsville back in the day, and I didn't get on. I didn't start up, and I just always felt like I had just let too much of the show go by. So I said, you know what? Then I got emails. Baby, you all said, listen, this is what we want. So sometimes I will crack and I will try to give you all what it is you want, even when I think maybe it may not work out. Listen, I'm here for y'all just like y'all are here for me. I love y'all. Really, I do. And not like, not like that Monique thing. I really do. I love us, honey. Me and you and what we've built. I love y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. Baby. So I hear stuff about Huntsville all the time and what goes on. And I know a lot of this plays out in real time. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to work on. But that's okay. I got you. Like I said, I love y'all. This is what y'all requested. That is why we are here. And shout out to Dr. Heavenly, because listen, we're going to give it a try. But baby, when I got to look at her, this Love in Huntsville mess is just that. It is a mess. It is a mess from the rooter to the goddamn tutor. And by the tutor, I'm talking about Carlos King. Baby, this is a mess. And Carlos, my love, you done got bit by the bug. You done got bit by the bug. You are a fantastic show creator, but you got bit by the bug, my love. You like being on camera. You like being a part of the show. You got bit by the bug, and you are messy. You are messy. I said, okay. And y'all know how much I love an old nasty piece of love triangle. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on over here in Huntsville. So listen, I'm going to go through with what I saw. You know that some things I'm not up to par on because stuff has already been there. And listen, I got my fact checkers. Y'all ain't going to let me go too far off. I won't veer too far off and not know what I'm talking about, because, baby, y'all will snatch me by the hairs on my chinny chin chin and be like, that is not it, bitch. So listen, we're going to do this because y'all asked me to do this. We're going to do this together. Okay? So listen, let's go right here. Beginning of the show, we see this whole thing with Martell. Martell, what I know of Martell, he's a messy, okay? He is very much, and it's so crazy how I always would hear people say that Martell is a narcissist. Martell is a narcissist. And what I've seen in Martell, yes, Martell is very much narcissistic. And I mean, to a point of being problematic. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? And he was sitting, he talked about the fact that he had been locked up. He got arrested. Okay. There was a warrant out for his arrest. It's a whole messy situation. He actually had 2 of his kids with him at the time, and one of the other kids was somewhere, need to be picked up, and it just a whole mess, literally about some text messages from 2022 that were of a harassing nature. A mess. A mess. He got arrested. He was going to the police station for one thing, or some office for one thing or another. I think he might have just been going to the magistrate's office, but whatever. He got locked up, baby. They got him. They clinked his ass and gave him some bracelets that didn't go with his outfit. And it was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And I'm saying, okay, now I need to get all the details of this because this don't make no sense. Because if you knew, Melody, that you put paperwork on him, why you got your kids? Why you got your kids? Because you know at some point he's going to get locked up, right? Some of that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But let me tell you what really was irritating me. His mother. Where does this lady come from? Where did this woman come from? Now listen, any of y'all that know me know that I have a brother who has some serious run-ins with the law. But let me tell you a little bit about my mother, okay? My brother did wrong, period. That's where we sit as a family. We don't do the coddle. Now, we'll clean up your mess. We'll keep you afloat. We'll do what it is we need to do for you and love on you the way we're supposed to love on you. But what we're not going to do is ever sit in a space and say, you right when you do wrong. We just, that just ain't who we are. So for me to sit and look at this mother of his who is trying to act as though he really didn't do anything wrong. Excuse me, ma'am. Your boy sent text message to his ex-wife. They're in the midst of an old nasty public type of separation and divorce. He done sent text messages that is basically threatening revenge porn is basically what it is on her. Who told you that that's okay? That ain't okay. And for you to be sitting here coddling this man like somebody is coming down hard on him is crazy. It's crazy. They do throw you in jail about harassing folks. And if somebody presses charges and they pick it up, then you're left with the burden to say, you know, I didn't do that. That's not what I did. And then you could prove what you know, that you didn't do it. Catch. Y'all know me. Y'all that know me. Catch. If a bitch lie on you and say that you harassed them and then you prove that you didn't harass them, then everything's fine. But if you literally sent somebody a text message threatening to use it against them on social media and you just happen to put an old nasty piece of screenshot from an intimate video that you had, and then there's a whole plot and a plan behind it about somebody putting it on Facebook or something and saying that it's somebody else and accusing you of cheating and all of this to go along with it was a goddamn mess. And the mama is sitting there acting like it ain't as messy as what it is. I looked at her and I said, if y'all don't get her off my screen, and I mean get her off my screen now, a hot mess. If this is mama and this is how mama it carries on, then I understand why he carries on the way he does. He sat his ass up on there and said, kids, it was this whole thing because, he's the victim. He's completely the victim. And kids don't need to see this for their father. No, they don't. No, they don't. All of that is a mess. That's why I said, why do you even have those kids when, like, that you got paperwork on? Like, none of that didn't make no sense to me. But again, maybe I missed something somewhere down the line. None of that shit don't make no sense. And Melody's like, yeah, I'm wondering what took so long for them to actually get him. Well, girl. Okay. Messy. But when I heard him say that children need their father, and their father, sometimes they need the father, it's more imperative that they have their father than they have their mother. That's a lie that you tell them before the Lord. Who in the hell told you that foolishness? Now, yes, it is wonderful for children to have both their parents. It is wonderful for children to have both their parents. But sorry, bruh, I ain't going with that. And listen, I function as a single parent, a single male parent, functioned that way for many, many years. But even with everything I did and all of that, nope. Mommy first. The ideal situation is mommy first. And that's my opinion. So for you to even put yourself in that position and say it's more important for kids to have their father than to have their mother is crazy to me. And time actually proves it. There are many people walking around on the planet who are fantastic citizens who were raised by one parent, and it was a mother. It's been proven over and over and over again, especially with Black folks, that a mother actually can raise a child by herself and be successful. Is it ideal? No, but can be successful. Yes, a father can do it as well, but nobody replaces mom. Nobody. It's just the way it is. And I can say it and I can speak it because I've sat in it. So that just sat wrong with me. And I was like, boy, you are one narcissistic piece of shit to even sit there and form your mouth to say some stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell you one thing that I could never stand when somebody would say, you're mommy and daddy. No, I'm not mommy and daddy. First of all, I'm not mommy because I can't be mommy because I ain't got no ovaries. So no, I'm not mommy and daddy. That's that kind of bullshit. No. So that irritated me real bad off the rip. But anyway, I was like, that really does take a true narcissist to come out their face with some bullshit like that. That was horrible. But I did see Melody was actually, her brother had come in town and she was ramping up her security. And I'm saying, now I never heard no rumblings about him putting his hands on her or nothing like that. But he's a little unhinged is what I'm kind of gathering. So maybe she does need the extra security. I don't know. Real deep, their situation is really, really out of pocket. Really out of pocket. So let's move on from them because they had done really worked my nerves. Stormy and Nell. Now, they showed a picture of this Stormy prior to this, and she has had like a extreme transformation. I said, okay. Like you can see she lost some weight and looks like she had a boost in confidence. I'm like, she was full on titties out. I said, go ahead, girl. And they were speaking about this Kiki person and how Kiki was spilling tea about filming and things that hadn't actually been aired and different things like that. This Kiki sounded like a real, real messy piece of work. And the Kiki person is actually blaming these things on her mother. I said, okay. So I'm waiting with bated breath to meet this Kiki person and see what's really going on with them. And Nell messy, honey. Nell was sitting there like, yeah, girl, give me all the tea. She was sitting there recording everything on her floppy disk in her head. I said, look at her, honey. I was laughing. I said, now why does Nell remind me of a person that everything was said? At some point, she gonna say it again to somebody else. The Stormy don't know she's saying it too. But I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's the vibes I got. I said, oh, Nell, you look like a piece of work. But she was just listening, and Stormy was bringing all the bones, honey. She was Sheree Whitfielding it all, Whitfielding it up. I said, okay. So that was very interesting. Then we end up seeing Leticia and Destiny. And here is the old nasty piece of love triangle. I said, what you say? Shut your mouth and keep on talking this stuff here. So Destiny's ex, Moses, cute little guy, she was with him for over 15 years. And her handler and producer and her good friend, who they were around calling each other sis and all this kind of carrying on, Sonny. Sonny done messed around and married Moses. And then Destiny finds out on the vlogs. What kind of messy shit is this? I said, oh my. And Carlos Carlos know everything. So Carlos is like, yeah, child, you know how Carlos do. So I'm like, wow. Then when it went so far as to say they used to claim they were cousins, kissing cousins. Talking about, yeah, she said Sonny told her we kept running into each other at family functions and stuff. They're running into each other at family functions because he was dating that heifer and taking her with him or meeting her there. And I said, but this is just good. Trust no one. Question everyone. This is, like I said, I referenced before. Y'all go on over there and see Dr. Heavenly. We actually talked about some of my trust issues that I have. Stuff like this is exactly why I have an issue with date. I don't trust nobody. People are off the chain. People are off the chain. Cousins. This is the things that books are made of, which make money. Old, now this is what I refer to as an old nasty piece of love triangle. But yeah, Destiny is broken behind it, and she seems pretty pissed, and it's unresolved. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see. And Leticia was just sitting there, just sucking it all up. Now they were talking about this whole thing of Carlos King and these raindrops of his. Now that you know he does YouTube, and he had a Huntsville show, and they were talking about whether or not they were going. Leticia says she ain't going. Destiny says she was not going to be in the building at all. And it really was due to Melody and her followers, what they call them, the millimeters. And then they sat there and they talked about Melody's followers. I said, whoa, easy, easy, easy. So that was interesting to see them talk about the fans, and said they were evil, middle-aged, weird people who really go in too hard. Like, so I guess they're supposedly these millimeters are just too invested. I said, okay. Now I have heard rumblings. That the Love and Marriage Huntsville crew can be a bit brutal. I experienced that a lot with Basketball Wives. I'm used to it, so it ain't no real big deal with me. But I said, wow, to the point where they actually are speaking about it on the show. I said, okay. But I think a lot of that's due to Carlos, because again, Carlos Carlos jumps the fence, and that's the thing. Anyway, Carlos early in the program, Carlos done called Melody on the phone. He on FaceTime. Where I said, Carlos, get out of here! Get out of here, Carlos. Get out of here. Are you writing yourself a check? Carlos, are you writing yourself a check and you getting a check for being the talent too? I ain't mad with you. But anyway, so Carlos comes on and he's having his show. And he gets this whole thing, and he has Melody as a guest. Melody, she look cute. She come in, she had this black and white situation going on. It's given very it was given real Cruella de Vil, but it was groovy though. It was really groovy. It was like a Cruella de Vil meets The Devil Wears Prada type of situation going on. I said, okay, that's cute. It's overdone, and I like it. I like what it got going on. But they get in there and they start talking. Now, Melody's whole conversation is Martell, and her situation. You know, I mean, that is what it is. That's her storyline. And they was just tearing Martell up. And then Carlos jumped up and said, oh, Carlos, wait a minute. Now, some things I just don't need to know. When Carlos jumped up there and they got to talking about Melody saying that she wasn't sexually satisfied by Martell. Now I'm like, okay, I mean, Martell, baby, listen, okay. Sometimes when you have a specimen like Martell, girl, if he don't know how to do it, you just tell him to lay there and get it done. And get it done yourself. But I guess after several years, that probably gets irritating after a while. But anyway, she says she ain't get what she needed. And Carlos jumps up and says he ain't the only one with a hook and a curve as he proceeds to put his hands on his hips. And I said, now, Carlos, baby, I love you, but there's just some things I don't need to know about you, Carlos. I don't need to know nothing about your hook nor your curve, but your cute little self. But I just didn't need to know that. That's that information that you never needed to know. I said, Lord have mercy. Carlos just bit by the bug. My Carlos likes the camera. He liked being in front of the camera. I said, okay, Carlos. And he intends to turn it. He intends to turn the party when he gets in front of the camera. He always does. This is what he does. That's why we love Carlos. But anyway, so they got to talk about this orgasm that she ain't never had. And then now I take it that somebody that snatched her up and made her shake, baby. She didn't had it. So now that's more reads on Martell. But the read is, it seems to me like, I don't know what it is, but he was giving some other people some orgasms, and it just seems, it's just so messy. It's so good. It's just so much. So goddamn messy. Yeah. So anyway. But then there was a whole nother little part where Carlos was pissed. So Carlos was getting his point across too. He was going to make his time on camera count. And he was letting Martell know, you told some lies and tried to run some plays on me as well. And I don't appreciate it. I said, oh. So Martell was catching strays all over the place. And then Carlos King did the Carlos King. And during his little podcast situation, he mentioned the whole situation about Sonny and Moses. And then he says, you know what? And he drops the mic, baby, and brings out Sonny and Moses. And the thing went into to be continued. I said, well, Carlos, okay. Again, never void of drama. He knows how to get a show moving. So here we are. This is it. This is what went down on season 8, episode 1. And I'm coming in basically fresh. And this is enough drama, I think, to hold my attention for a minute. I think. We're going to see. But y'all asked for that. So here we are. Here we are. We're going to play it out. We're going to see what happened. But yeah, Carlos jumped in front of the camera and dropped that goddamn mic. He most certainly did. I said, Lord, to be continued. So here we go. I will see you all in the next episode. All right, y'all. Shout out to y'all. Y'all asked for it. You got it. Love of Huntsville. Love in Huntsville. Lord, love and marriage. Huntsville. Season 8, child. Let's go. Talk to y'all later.